The silent roar of the jungle. The jungle was a world of shadows and secrets, where sunlight fought to pierce the thick canopy above. Beneath the towering trees, the air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and the faint metallic tang of blood. On the forest floor, a Bengal tiger lay motionless, its golden orange fur matted and stained crimson. Deep wounds marred its once majestic body, and its front paw was swollen, twisted unnaturally. The tiger's chest rose and fell in shallow, labored breaths, its amber eyes clouded with pain. With great effort, it lifted its head and let out a low, guttural roar, a sound that carried not the ferocity of a predator, but the desperation of a creature clinging to life. Somewhere in the distance, another tiger stood watch. Its bright, alert eyes glimmered with concern as it observed its fallen companion. This tiger, strong and healthy, its fur glowing like molten gold under the filtered sunlight, let out a powerful roar that echoed through the trees. It was not a cry of dominance, but a plea, a call for help that reverberated through the heart of the jungle. On the edge of the riverbank, the jungle seemed to hold its breath. A team of wildlife rescuers, clad in khaki uniforms and protective gear, paused mid-step. The urgent roar of the healthy tiger had cut through the usual symphony of the forest, demanding their attention. One rescuer, a woman with sharp eyes and steady hands, raised her binoculars and scanned the dense foliage. Her breath hitched as she spotted the injured tiger, its body crumpled and broken. She turned to her team, her voice low but urgent. "We've got one. It's bad." The team moved quickly, their boots crunching against the underbrush as they gathered their medical kits. The jungle seemed to close in around them, the air thick with tension. Every step brought them closer to the injured tiger, and with it, the weight of their responsibility. They knew the risks a cornered animal, even one on the brink of death, could be deadly, but they also knew they were its only hope. The clearing was small and shaded, a pocket of stillness in the otherwise restless jungle. The injured tiger lay at its center, its breathing shallow and uneven. The rescuers worked with practiced precision, their movements deliberate and calm. One knelt beside the tiger, his hand steady as he injected a sedative into its leg. The tiger's muscles twitched, but it was too weak to resist. Another rescuer carefully cleaned the deep wounds with antiseptic, her touch gentle despite the urgency of the task. The tiger's chest rose and fell in slow, rhythmic waves, its body finally surrendering to the sedative's embrace. Nearby, a third rescuer monitored the tiger's vitals, his voice crackling over the radio as he relayed updates to their base. The jungle around them was eerily silent, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Even the wind seemed to pause, the only sound the soft rustle of leaves and the occasional chirp of a distant bird. It was as though the forest understood the gravity of the moment, a life hanging in the balance. Hours passed, and the jungle began to stir once more. The injured tiger, now bandaged and resting on a soft bed of leaves, blinked slowly, its amber eyes regaining a flicker of their former brilliance. The healthy tiger, which had never strayed far, approached cautiously. It nudged its companion's head with its nose, a gesture so tender it seemed almost human. The rescuers watched from a distance, their faces etched with relief. The tiger's chest rose and fell steadily now, its strength slowly returning. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting a warm, golden glow over the scene. The tension that had gripped the jungle began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of quiet triumph. Birds chirped in the background, their songs a gentle reminder that life, no matter how fragile, always found a way to endure. The moment the injured tiger stood, the jungle seemed to exhale. Its muscles rippled beneath its striped coat as it tested its weight, its movements deliberate but steady. The wounds were still there, raw and painful, but they no longer defined it. The tiger shook its head, as if casting off the last remnants of weakness, and let out a soft growl, a sound that spoke of resilience, of defiance. The healthy tiger stood close, its presence a silent promise of support. Together, They were a testament to the unbreakable bond of survival, a bond that transcended species. The rescuers watched in silence, their hearts swelling with quiet pride. They had done their part, but this was not their story. It was a tiger's. As the once injured tiger turned to leave, it paused. For a moment, its gaze locked with the rescuers, its amber eyes filled with something that could only be described as gratitude. One of the rescuers, still kneeling, extended a hand slightly, as if to acknowledge the unspoken connection between human and beast. The healthy tiger watched from the side, its tail flicking gently, its eyes never leaving its companion. Then, with a final glance, the injured tiger turned and disappeared into the dense foliage, its powerful frame moving with a grace that belied its recent ordeal. The healthy tiger followed, their striped coats blending seamlessly with the dappled light of the forest. The rescuers remained, their faces filled with a quiet sense of fulfillment. They had given the tiger a second chance, and now it was reclaiming its place in the wild. As the tigers vanished into the jungle, the forest seemed to come alive once more. The rustling of leaves, the distant calls of animals, the gentle rush of the river. It was as if the jungle itself was celebrating the tiger's return. And somewhere, deep within the heart of the wilderness, a roar echoed, a roar not of pain but of freedom,